How can an offense that carry death penalty, a judge reduce it to 20 years in prison?
Has that happened in Nigeria already?
Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, the Nigerian Senate President. This man no deserve to be a Senate President. As a matter of fact, Akpabio should resign as a Senate President. After watching this Oshiomhole's video, here waiting the Senate President they talk. Akpabio, you no get shame. Here waiting they talk.
Has that happened in Nigeria already?
He say where that waiting Oshiomhole they talk so now only Nigeria it don't happen. It don't happen for another country. This man they go look for bad example to take repair the bad thing when Nigeria judiciary politicians and everybody they do for this country. Now waiting Akpabio they look for. Akpabio, when will you look for a good example from another country? When you go look for how other Senate presidents in another country they behave. They say waiting judge they do so you know good. You say whether na only Nigeria they don't do am, abi they don't do am for another country. Akpabio, what kind of Senate president are you? You are a disgrace. Akpabio, you are a disgrace to Senatehood. Now, I'm going to watch the video of waiting Oshiomhole they talk. And waiting this Godswill Akpabio, where be Senate President, they talk.
How can an offense that carry death penalty, a judge reduce it to 20 years in prison? That is not acceptable. He has violated the laws passed by the parliament. Number three, sir, and this will be the last.
Has that happened in Nigeria already?
It has. Somebody convicted of terrorism was sentenced to 20 years in prison. When the law says act of terrorism, if convicted, shall attract death penalty, no judge has a right to pronounce less than that. It is only when you have implemented the law, interpret the law, not the sentiment of a judge, the will of the people as conveyed in a law, then the president can decide if there are reasons for him to do so, whether to commute or to reduce. Death penalty or terrorism. This parliament is on record as having done that. Mr. President, I am troubled when after all the efforts that security agencies and the prosecuting authorities have to invest to secure conviction, because unfortunately the state cannot behave like a mob. So you have to prosecute, follow due process. I am troubled by the conflicting judgment by various high court judges. Where the law says act of terrorism, if convicted, shall attract death penalty, no judge has a right to pronounce less than that. It is only when you have implemented the law, interpret the law, not the sentiment of a judge, the will of the people as conveyed in a law, then the president can decide if there are reasons for him to do so, whether to commute or to reduce. How can an offense that carry death penalty, a judge reduce it to 20 years in prison? That is not acceptable. He has violated the laws passed by the parliament. Number three, sir, and this will be the last.
Has that happened in Nigeria already?
It has. Somebody convicted of terrorism was sentenced to 20 years in prison.
No.
Can I be allowed to land?
The civil senator, you have,
Mr. President, that is the leader of Assad. They have a group.
You have 30 seconds.
A terrorist group called Assad.
You have 30 seconds to land, but please be guided.
Okay.
Let's concentrate on the issue in discussion.
I will be guided. These are our people. For example, somebody allegedly killed someone who came to attack him on his farm. And because he killed in self-defense, the man was sentenced to death. But there is no evidence that those who have come to attack farmers and kill farmers, there is no evidence that they have so coveted, sentenced to death. These are some of the issues we have to deal with so that nobody is given any excuse to misunderstand what is clearly a national challenge. I believe that President Tinubu inherited a situation that was already so complicated that no one of us, if we were to become president, can decree insecurity out of existence overnight. But we can begin to mobilize discernible action. We can begin to re-examine some of the discontent, but also call on the security chiefs. I am sure my colleagues here, you listen when the chief of defense staff said there is what they call war economy. That is to say, there are officers who may well be making money from this crisis. And that is why the issue of accountability, even on the part of the armed forces, is now a requirement that our relevant committees should be able to work on and ensure that we do not have saboteurs in the army or those who don't want the crisis to end, such that, we keep appropriating money, people are getting richer, and more Nigerians are being wasted. But I conclude by saying, all of us must commend the president for what he has been doing. If you see his face on television, you know that the president is not sleeping. What we need is our collective wisdom to reinforce his own limited wisdom, because nobody has monopoly of wisdom, so that together we can find a holistic solution. This situation calls for national unity. It calls for collaboration. We must not talk as Christians or as Muslims. We must not talk as Northerners or Southerners, Easterners or Westerners. It's a national challenge, and we need a national solution.
Godswill Akpabio, where be Senate president, always looking for bad example from another country to take merge with our own. Whether not only us they do bad, what kind of country is this? No be say these people they travel out of Nigeria, they travel, they see things, they see how things they work. They know they carry that example come here, come replicate. Now bad thing wey don't happen for Nigeria, now they go begin go they look for another country where such bad thing don't happen, so that they go take justify our own for here. It's a very big shame, and that is why we continue to say revolution is the only solution to this our problem. This kind of people not supposed to have made it into a Senate, but look at him, he's here as a Senate president. Shame on you. Akpabio is a Senate president of a particular concern. I'll pour you spit. Poor.